Quand j'ai appris le métier de maçon, on m'a dit bon bah alors c'est comme ça, c'est comme ça, c'est comme ça. Une maison finalement bah tu vois ça coûte 800 000 balles, t'es là. Alors tu fais le calcul, alors tu te dis tant que je gagne pas tant par mois, avec un chrome de temps par-ci, une maison ça devient inaccessible. Puis en fait quand tu regardes par tes propres moyens, avec les matériaux locaux, en prenant ton temps, en ayant une maison un peu plus petite, démarrer avec un truc pas trop grand et puis ragrandir après, bah les prix t'enlèvent de zéro quoi. Enfin entre ce qu'on... Ouais tu peux enlever 100 fois moins cher quoi. Ça peut être 100 fois moins cher une maison de la même taille quoi. Pour moi c'est sympa d'apprendre ça.
Ce passage de Volem rien foutre Alpaïs nous a fait halluciner. C'était la première fois qu'on entendait un truc pareil. Et on s'est demandé si c'était vraiment possible de construire sans s'endetter. On a voulu en savoir plus et on est parti chercher des hommes et des femmes qui expérimentent d'autres manières d'habiter.
Pendant 2 ans, on a rencontré aux 4 coins du monde des gens qui construisent en terre, en paille, en bambou et même en pneus. Des pionniers qui ne demandent qu'à partager leurs idées. C'est l'histoire qu'on va vous raconter. Première étape, la Grèce. On a rendez-vous près de Thessalonique pour notre premier workshop. 3 jours d'introduction à la construction en terre crue, avec au programme la fabrication d'une petite cabane pour les enfants d'une école.
After working for a while in various companies, publishing companies, what have you, I started to see that this whole 9 to 5 5 days a week schedule was not the best thing, and this living in the city didn't quite work for me. So I was looking for something else. I wasn't quite sure what that was. At some point I decided I wanted to find a piece of land. This was about 10 years ago. Find a piece of land and maybe become a farmer or build something. So in the process I came across this website, cob.gr. At that point, it was probably the first or second workshop Cobb was doing. I was shocked. I didn't know what to, it was something completely different, and it just felt good. So then the next workshop was 15-day, so I joined that as well, and that's where most of the team met each other. So we did a structure there for 15 days, and then we thought, maybe we can, take this a little further and go ahead with this, and that's how it all began.
Two years I worked in a corporate company. I started feeling more and more stressed and not happy about how we are filling the earth up with these materials, and they're not going to go anywhere, and all they do is just harm the world, and what the architecture today is about is just accommodation, filling more and more people up in buildings, and more about money. So you make smaller spaces and you fit more people in, and more cars and more. And this was really disturbing me, and that's why I wanted to make a change. I did not want to be a part of a system that is ruining the world with these materials.
Για τις κόμπληθες. Για μόνο, δεν θα μείνεις. Δεν είναι οικογένεια. Να γίνει λίγο πατσάρια γιατί είναι πολύ
I definitely think that this is a start, and I want to continue with other workshops and learn more, because it intrigued me so much to see how much we can do with so little and very few materials. You can create amazing things.
Το είχε κρυμμένο, είχε πραγματικά δεν χρειάζεται. Α, ναι, Φανή, άκουσες, το επίθρισμα είναι το τελικό στο τζάκι, δεν έφτασε. Μόνο με 2 ανθρώπους.
Après 3 jours de workshop, on poursuit l'enquête chez d'anciens participants. Ils ont tout quitté pour commencer une nouvelle vie sur l'île de Bé, à 2 heures d'Athènes.
With Yannis and Nikos, we met during a COB seminar, and this was, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. I already had this place, so I already had done my decisions. I had that I want to go in this direction, and of course there were some talks back then that, hey guys, here is a nice place, maybe we can do something.
It's the 7-meter floor here. 7-meter diameter. The inside floor, the floor of the whole dome, not just the floor of this. No. Okay. Actually, probably in, let it dry, and one day for 5 people to attack that floor, which is 7-meter diameter, 7 diameter.
For us, it wasn't a reaction to the crisis, which is quite important, this thing. I mean, it's not that the crisis happened and then we started looking, for something different. For most of us, this is something, I mean, personally, I think this is the end and the beginning of a trip that has lasted many years, about 10 years, that I've been trying to find out, a way out of what we call the system.
Ψάξτε όμως αυτό, γιατί μπορεί να το βάλεις κάπου ξεκούδουνα. Αυτό το χρησιμοποιούν σε πέλετ. Κάνουν συνέχεια και κάνουν πέλετ. Το φαντάζομαι. Απ' την ουρά κάτι. Το πιάνεις έτσι και απ' την ουρά.
I think I wasn't afraid because I realized at some point that before people make a decision, they usually make a list with all the negatives things. Oh, and that, and all the difficulties, and this leads to not doing anything, not changing anything. So I start doing a list with the nice things, of course being a realist, and of course there were difficulties and some struggling, and in this kind of transition it's not always easy. You can't live without any money at all, but you can live with very, very little money, and you realize that I don't need 10 pounds, it's just okay with 2. And I don't need a lot of space, especially in Greece where you live 10 months outside.
This building here costed roughly about 13 to 15,000 euros. It had but without paying, anybody for labor. In a way, quite cheap, regarding the situation here. It's made out of wood. There's a wooden platform, and on top of the wooden platform we have built with the straw bales. And the plastering, it's done with natural plaster. This specific one has outside has lime plaster, and inside it's clay plaster. So we try to use as much as possible natural materials. I mean, if this house dissolves, the only thing that will stay, I think, it's going to be the screws, the windows, and the asphaltic membrane on top.
We want to live a natural way, but we don't want to be farmers like 200 years ago. We have the knowledge that will enable us to work less, have more time for playing music or meditating or going for a swim or whatever. I believe this is really important. We have to find a way to make our everyday being fulfilling.
Συνήθως ξεκινάς από χαμηλά με μεγάλες πέτρες. Έτσι. Ώστε να έχεις καλή έδραση. Δηλαδή αυτό το πράγμα να κάθεται αρκετά καλά.
Since then we are here and we are trying to start operate from this area and do workshops and make learn to people of how to build their own houses, because you have to take in mind also that Greece has been hit in a way from a terrible economic crisis, and this in a way has helped a lot, situations like this one to happen, because people are looking for other ways of living, and they understand that that way of life in a city and doing all the things that they were doing, it looks like a dead end, so people are now opening their eyes and they start to look around to find other solutions. I think a person who would like to change his life, for sure he should have in mind that there's going to be a transition period between leaving from what you were doing and coming here and establishing a house, something that you can make a living out of. So it takes time, which means that it's not something that you just decide that today I'm going to leave and go there and everything will happen. It is a process that takes time. It needs a lot of effort, and it needs a lot of thinking. I mean, before acting, you should think quite a lot of how to approach, what you want to do, and try to be as, I think because we live in the times of the picture, and everybody has a nice, somebody who has seen this, who would like to do something similar, this is the picture they have. But there are many different solutions, other ways, and you just need to organize quite well and be patient. This is the most important thing, I think.
Être patient. Il n'y a pas de hasard. Le premier conducteur qui nous a pris en stop s'appelait juste patience.
Et si ralentir ouvrait des opportunités ? C'est avec cette philosophie qu'on poursuit notre aventure.